Hello children, let's continue chapter 3 of history, which is about agrarian structure under the British. In this module we will be studying about the different peasants revolt which took place in the different parts of the country. The first major revolt which took place in 1770 after the famine of Bengal. It was called the Fakir and Sannyasi rebellion and spread from Rangpur to Dhaka. This is about the Chahur uprising which took place in the Midnapur district of Bengal from 1796 to 1816. The Wahabi movement. The main leader of this movement he was Sayyid Ahmad of Rai Bareli. He was the follower of Wahhabism sect formed by Abdullah Wahib of Arabia. The Wahhabis advocated revival of Islam in India. Under British, they had been deprived of their power and authority. They were joined in their revolt by peasants and artisans who were already suffering under the British. The Khasi revolt, which took place in Assam and Meghalaya. The Farazis. The Farazis were a Muslim sect who advocated radical changes in the social and political conditions of Bengal. They also supported the cause of peasants against the atrocities of the zamindars. Their main leader he was Dadu Mian. In India, the farmers they were forced to grow crops like indigo and cotton. They purchased these crops at very low prices. This is about the Indian indigo, a plant which grows in the tropics. By the 13th century, it was used for dyeing clothes in Italy, France and Britain. Supply of indigo it was very small and hence its price was very high. This is about the wort, which is a substitute of indigo, a plant of temperate zone and easily available in Europe. Grown in northern Italy, southern France, and in parts of Germany and Britain. Worts producers in Europe pressurized their government to ban import of indigo. They were opposed by the cloth producers. This is about the different systems of indigo cultivations, and one is niche cultivation. In this system the planters produced indigo on those lands which were under his direct control. According to the niche system, indigo was grown in plantation owned by the rich planters. The crop was cultivated by the laborers. The problems with niche cultivation. Indigo could only be cultivated on fertile lands, but these areas were densely populated and hence only small plots could be acquired. This made it difficult to expand the area under niche cultivation. They attempted to lease in the land around the indigo factory. While doing so, they evicted the peasants from the area. Peasants' eviction always created conflict and tension. A large plantation required a large area. This is the second method of indigo cultivation named Rayati system. Under the Rayati system, indigo cultivation was done by the ryots. The planters made the ryots to sign a contract or an agreement. Sometimes they pressurized the village headman to sign the contract on behalf of the ryots. After signing the contract, the ryots got cash advances from the planters, but after taking the loan, the ryot was committed to grow indigo on at least 25% of his land holding. So that's why the indigo revolt that took place in the different parts of the country. The indigo revolt, which is also known as Neel Vidroho, was a peasant movement and subsequent uprising of indigo farmers against the indigo planters, which arose in Bengal in 1859. So now we will be talking about this blue rebellion in detail. In March 1859, the thousands of riots in the Bengal refused to grow indigo. This was known as the Blue Rebellion. The farmers refused to pay rent to the planters. They attacked the indigo factories also. In 1859, farmers of Bengal they revolted. Many educated people they supported this revolt. Government appointed a commission. The commission found that indigo farming it was uneconomic and to stop immediately. The commission found the planters guilty. This is an illustration of the British indigo factory in India. After the revolt, the indigo production it collapsed in Bengal. The planters now shifted their operation to Bihar. Discovery of synthetic dyes in the late 19th century severely affected the business, but the planters managed to expand production. When Mahatma Gandhi he returned from South Africa, the plight of indigo farmers in Champaran was brought to his notice. Mahatma Gandhi he visited Champaran in 1917 and began the movement against the indigo planters. So he launched the campaign, Champaran campaign, which ultimately brought relief for the peasants. So this was all about this module.